shocked everybody Wednesday night. Because late Wednesday night, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns swapped quarterbacks in a move that caught most people off guard. Let's just be honest. Tyson Campbell is heading to Cleveland, and Greg Newsome II is heading to Jacksonville, with some late round 2026 picks thrown in to even out the deal. So let's break this one down, because this trade actually says a lot about where both of these franchises are headed in the 2025 NFL season. So here's how it went down. The Jaguars sent Tyson Campbell and a 2026 7th-round pick that they originally got from the Eagles to the Browns in exchange for Greg Newsome II for a 2026 6th-round pick originally from the New York Football Jets. Simple enough on paper, right? But this move goes way, way deeper than just a player swap. Greg Newsome is a 2021 first-round pick. This is the final year of his rookie deal, playing on that $13.38 million fifth-year option. Meanwhile, Campbell just signed a 4-year, $76.5 million extension this past offseason, with $53 million of it guaranteed. Guaranteed $1 bills jump. So that right there tells you everything you need to know. Jacksonville wanted to shed a future franchise burden and get a player who fits their new defense and identity under Anthony Campanelli. From the Jag side, this trade was strategic. I'm saying that right? Strategic. Campbell has battled injuries over the last couple seasons, hamstring, shoulder, thigh, and even when he's unhealthy, he's been struggling to return to that 2022 Pro Bowl caliber form. Now, the Jags GM, James Gladstone, said this wasn't a rental move. He made it clear. We think Greg Newsome helps us win football games right now. This tells me, guys, the Jacksonville Jaguars are in a win-now mode. They think they can win the AFC South. They think they can go to the Super Bowl right now. Now, with that being said, they are leading the AFC South right now. Their defense has been strong, but inconsistent as of late, and now they add a guy, Newsome, who plays with more vision and fits better in that zone-heavy look. They shred Campbell's big deal, free up some cap flexibility down the road, and get a corner who's hungry to prove himself in a new system. But now let's flip to the Cleveland Browns side. The Browns have been aggressive this past week. They traded Joe Flacco to the Bengals, which we talk about. Hear that in a little bit again. Added left tackle Cam Robertson, and now bringing in Tyson Campbell. This move makes sense for a couple seasons. They're betting on talent. Simple as that. Campbell is 25, and at his best, he is a true number one corner. Cleveland believes that in Jim Schwartz's defense, where corners are trusted to play press and attack routes, Campbell can return to his 2022 Pro Bowl form. Newsome was also set to be a free agent after this season. Instead of losing him for nothing, they flip him for a guy already under contract through 2028. So both teams got what they wanted. The Jaguars get a cheaper scheme fit guy with upside, and the Browns get a long-term piece with the premium position. This is actually the second trade between these two teams in 6 months. Remember when Jacksonville Jaguars moved up with Cleveland back in April to grab Travis Hunter, the second overall pick? There's clearly a strong line of communication between these two front offices, and both seem that to be in the mindset we're not waiting around. Gladstone even said this might be the Jaguars' last move before, or may not be the last move for the Jaguars before November 4th trade line. And I believe him. Jacksonville is pushing to lock up the AFC South early, while Cleveland is trying to stay alive in a brutal AFC North, that beating each other up weekly. So guys, here's my honest take. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, this is a smart football move. They save money, they improve scheme fit, and they stay aggressive in a season where they look like they're legit AFC contenders. Now, for the Browns, this is a pure gamble. Campbell has talent, no doubt about it, but his health has been an issue, and losing a versatile guy like Greg Newsome, especially when you're already shorthanded in the secondary, could bite them in the butt early and often. But I'll say this, both teams made food that fit their current direction. Jacksonville is building for a playoff push, and Cleveland is retooling on the fly. So I'm going to throw this to you guys, Man Hour Nation. Who won this trade? Jacksonville Jaguars or the Cleveland Browns? Was it the Jaguars getting a cleaner scheme, cheaper fit in Greg Newsome, or the Browns locking in long-term corner in Tyson Campbell? Guys, drop your thoughts in the comments down below. This is a live interactive show. I want to hear from you. And if you love this type of breakdown, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at YouTube.com. Now let's get into the comments and let's discuss your thoughts, baby. First things first, says the Chiefs are winning on Sunday Night Football. I want to agree with you, but We'll talk about it later. Mellow Mike says, be real. The Texans have lost games to teams they should have beaten in years past. Jets, Titans, Falcons, Panthers. Those 2 weeks, we did not do what we were supposed to do. Dominate inferior teams. Not wrong. Mellow Mike says the best part of D'Amico turned play calling over to Matt Burke was a CEO coach. Pre-snap penalties and game management has improved. We're not talking about the Texans anymore. We talked about them yesterday a lot. Jaguars have faded when jumped out into the early division. Indy hasn't faced a legit defense. Texans are a team you wanted to play early while they figure things out. Titans, nobody remembers them. True. Will Olsen said the Jags defense has the most takeaways in the league with 14. Will, you are exactly right. Matter of fact, I think in the first 5 games so far this season, this is the first team ever to have multiple takeaways in the first 5 games of the regular NFL season. That is tough. That is tough. That is tough. That is tough. James Frank says, I like Greg, but I'm all right with Campbell coming over. He can be nice with Denzel Ward. Listen, the Browns defense could be very, very nice yet again. They could be very, because we've seen them play decent football, James, versus the Green Bay Packers back in week 3, right? Week 3 or week 4, whatever it was. They have when they play well, the Browns are a pretty good team. I like the change. However, can they afford it long term? Because they're going to have to move around a lot of salary cap to really make this work. Because they're already over the cap as is. Myles Garrett's way overpaid. Let's just be honest. Mr. I want out, but money's here. Okay, I'll stay here. Plus, you don't have a quarterback. Mellow Mike says Gladstone is the GM on that chat GPT bullshit. Not wrong. Not wrong, I guess. Mellow Mike says Newsome is better than Campbell. Jags won the deal. I think Greg Newsome has a lot to prove, right? Greg Newsome is that type of player that is on a contract year. And when players are on contract years, they like to ball out. They like to show no mercy, show no, what's the word I'm looking for? Pain and all that. Like, they are out there. However, what I'm worried about, as my chair starts to break, I need to get a new one, damn it. As we see a lot of these players that get paid, when they get paid, Ja'Jarius Sneed is one of them, their performance goes down really, really quick. They start working hard, right? They're like, I got that deal. I got those dollar bills, yo. But then they're like, I'm not going to try so hard. Off-season workouts, not so much. Oh, this injury's a little bit worse than I thought it was. That is what I'm worried about with Greg Newsome and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right, Greg Newsome II. That's what I'm worried about. And James says Duval is going to get mad at Newsome celebrations after a QB clearly overthrows their wide receivers and he thinks he did something. Hey, James, I will never, ever be mad at a defensive player celebrating offensive miscues. When an offensive quarterback overthrows you by 15 yards and Greg Newsome is locking him down, kicking in the door, whatever he's going to do, celebrate that, baby. Let the offense know that they suck. Let them know that they suck over and over and over again. Because when you have a concrete defense and you hit up my man Wes Sexton from Elite Concrete Foundation and he lays that concrete floor for you and it is a solid concrete and you celebrate it, let it know. Let them know, let them know, let them know. Especially let them know that Buck sent you. Take some dollar bills, y'all. Oh, man. River's in the chat.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
What up, old man River? It says, Mellow Mike, think about this. Campbell was traded to justify the Travis Hunter pick. Newsome is a slot corner. Hunter is a new cornerback 1. Didn't earn that job. I will concur with you on this. I think Travis Hunter is a better defensive player than offense. And I think by justifying this move for a slot corner, that Greg Newsome, those are your words, not mine. I don't know if he's really a slot corner. He's just kind of the guy, right? But if you want to call him a slot corner, yes, justify it. I think Travis Hunter can be elite if he chooses one side of the ball, or not if he chooses one side. If the coaching staff in Jacksonville makes him choose one side of the ball, he's going to be a receiver, he's going to be a quarterback, then he can be elite. But right now, he's just going to be a middle of the pack average player. That's just what it is. It's what it is, what it is, what it is. James Frank says Newsome gets torched a lot. Trust me. The seasons he's played all right, but still gives up a lot. James, high risk, high reward, baby. High risk, high reward. If I'm going for the ball and I miss it, shit happens when you party naked. But when I go get that ball and I take it from you and then I lock you down, that's game changing, baby. So what do you want? Do you want to be good, or you want to be average, or do you want to be great and elite? Think about that. I want to be great and elite. I want Greg Newsome doing those high risk, high reward plays. Hell yeah. Brandon says, LOL. Mike, you here too? Listen, Brandon, welcome back. I think you were here yesterday, right? Welcome back. Mellow Mike is here when he wants to talk shit about the Houston Texans. He should have been here yesterday, but he is everywhere, he says. He is everywhere. And Brandon says, no way the Jags can play their guys now. Travion Walker, Devin Lloyd, Newsome, Anton Harrison, Strange, all need to get paid, baby. They do need to get paid. However, there are 3 teams that had over $100 million in cap space before the NFL season started. That was the Jacksonville Jaguars, that was the Las Vegas Raiders, and I believe it was the Seattle Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but there were 3 teams that had over that $100 million cap space. Jaguars got room to pay some players. Trevor Lawrence just should have got the pot time. As simple as that. Because he's not going to get paid if he keeps playing this average ball. Now, if you play like you did on Monday night, baby, we coming. He going to the moon, baby. But they got money. They got money. Old Member says Jaguars may take over the division. Texans, they keep playing like this. Guys, you understand that the Colts are the cream of the crop right now. You understand the Colts are sitting at 4-1 right now. You understand the Colts are going to the Super Bowl, baby, right now. You got to overtake yourselves before you even think about first place. Because once you get second place, then you're still looking at the Colts like, Colts, Daddy, can I come up there and hang out with you? Can I sit on the couch with you, Daddy? As you guys know, I'm dogging the Indianapolis Colts because last night I said they're not a Super Bowl team. They're going to fall off the face of the earth coming up very, very soon. Brandon says Hines Allen and Lawrence were already paid. Lawrence was paid, 2 years ago, right? 3 years ago. His contract is coming up. His contract's coming up. Hines Allen, I'm not for sure what his contract's at. But if I'm a betting man, Hines Allen better get paid before Trevor Lawrence does again for the second time around. I'm not for sure what Trevor Lawrence's contract is. I think he's on his 3rd year, right? 4th year? I'm not for sure. After being extended. So correct me if I'm wrong. Because I have not been following Jaguars as closely the last couple years. But since they're talking about news right now with Greg Newsome, we got to talk about him. Mellow Mike says, however, the Jags paid over for Hansen imitation at quarterback. Bop they did. Google's Daniel Jones. You can Google Daniel Jones all you want. Daniel Jones earned his $1 bills, yo. He earned that money. It's not his fault that Giants are like, we don't need Saquon Barkley. We don't need a receiver. We don't need a defense. That's not his fault. That is not his fault that he played at an MVP level and then got his $1 bills, yo, and then the team's like, oh, we don't need anybody. But a player that